The following story was written by another talented fanfiction reader, and she provided the voice of Echo in this presentation. Enjoy, and then go check out her YouTube channel. Echo Wants Your Mangoes by Lotus Moon. A few weeks have passed since Anon encountered his strawberry thief. He told other ponies of his encounter with the Bat Pony mare, to which many sighed and shrugged, simply saying, "Yeah, that's Strawberry. She usually comes out around this season. She's more vicious than the occasional fruit bats we get." With the new knowledge, he now made doubly sure that his remaining strawberry reserves were well hidden and locked away until they were ready. He also made sure to have his windows locked to prevent any other unwanted intruders. And with summer coming on the horizon, it was getting time for the next crop of fruits to be ready. Things like bananas, blueberries, watermelon, peaches, blackberries, and mangoes. Mangoes weren't Anon's least favourite fruit. He liked them, just not as much as strawberries. He also didn't make much with them, but was interested in trying some new recipes, especially since Mrs. Cake had offered to help make a mango cheesecake. So a change of pace would be nice. Grabbing a basket, Anon made his way out to the marketplace. It was bustling as usual and vibrant with some early crops of vegetables and fruits. He looked around the market and chatted with most of the ponies. When coming across the mango stand, he picked up a few, weighing them against each other. Most of the mangoes were still green, meaning they weren't quite ready. But that was okay, because once they were ready, which would be in a few days from lighter spots appearing on some, they would be refrigerated or frozen at the peak of ripeness for later consumption. So he filled his basket, paid for the fruit, and made his way home. But this time he stayed vigilant so as not to be ambushed by any other fruit-obsessed ponies. Practically smuggling his unripe treasure home, Anon quickly went inside and locked his door. He put the mango in a woven hanging fruit basket. Hopefully I'll have better luck with the mangoes. I'll tell Mrs. Cake that these mangoes will take a few days to be ready, and in the meantime I'll get cracking on my homemade cream cheese. I'm a little shocked ponies haven't had cheesecake before, let alone cream cheese on bread. Anon softly chuckled. He went to dig around through his recipe books and found what he was looking for. Here we are, but I'm almost out of vegetable rennet, so I'll have to make that before anything. I'll also be stopping by Manhattan. Oh wait, Mainhattan. The local milk mare shop should be open. I hear her milk is pretty high quality. Three days have passed since Anon began his preparations. Some of the mangoes have become decently ripe to be snacked on, and since only a few mangoes are needed for the recipe, eating just one or two wouldn't hurt. Think I'll have one sliced up thin with some tea. He opened the door to his home and felt off. Everything seemed in place, but something felt disturbed. Checking his living room first, he saw nothing. Entering his kitchen, he let out a startled shriek. Standing in front of his counter was yet another Bat Pony mare. She had a grey coat with light and dark blue hair and dark wings like her mane. Not this again. Anon mumbled and walked over. The pony didn't give much response to his presence. She was just standing there. When he got to a spot where he could see her face, he saw she was drooling and staring. Following her gaze, he saw she was staring at the mangoes. He had put a glass cover over them as an extra precaution while she was out. He saw she was staring at the mangoes. He had put a glass cover over them as an extra precaution while he was out. And judging by the slight scuff of imprints, it seems the mare's hooves couldn't get a good grip to take the cover off. So, she could only stare at an unattainable prize. "Can I help you?" Anon asked. The mare kept her eyes fixed on the glass.
"Mangoes,"
she mumbled. Anon looked from the mare to the mangoes, a few of which were ripe enough then back to the mare. "Do you want one?" This made the mare snap to attention. Her mango-coloured eyes were dilated so widely, and she looked like she was on a special trip. Shrugging, Anon picked 2 mangoes and covered the rest. He proceeded to peel and slice one when he heard a sharp hiss and munching. Anon looked down to see the grey mare munching on the unpeeled mango like it was her first meal in days, and awe as the mare devoured the mango and spit out a clean seed. She then let out a loud burp and stared at him. Anon stared back at her and let out an awkward chuckle. "You were pretty hungry, huh?"
I like mangoes.
the mare said, eyes returning to normal. "I can tell."
Can I have more mango? Please?
She stared like she was looking into his soul. It wasn't uncomfortable but was a bit unnerving. Anon, not one to deny a polite guest, requested his own mango to her. This time she ate in a calmer manner. "What's your name?"
Echo.
"Well, Echo, while I'm a bit perturbed as to how you got into my home, if you come back in a few days, I'll have a more delicious way to eat mangoes." Echo's eyes glistened with piqued curiosity and her tail wagged happily.
I won't have to come through your window again for this. Will I?
The Anon gave pause. "The window?" He locked all his windows before he goes out. "What window?"
No one upstairs.
Anon quickly went upstairs and found his bedroom window had scuffed hoof prints on it and was slightly cracked open. Not enough to be noticeable, but also not enough to cover up the break-in. Anon sighed heavily and pinched the spot between his eyes. So that explains how she got in. But at least she's more polite. He chuckled softly. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/TMFF, to get early access to audiobooks and to be able to request I do a reading of what you want, provided the author approves. Thank you to artlist.io for providing the massive music and sound effect library that I have to work with. And most of all, thank you to the bronies who write the amazing stories that inspire me to make these. Fluttershy and Izzy are best ponies. I now have a Discord server where you can join in and chat with other fanfiction fans. If you enjoy what I do, you can donate to me on Ko-Fi, links in the description.